Hello, I'm going to do a little video on trading resources people can learn from, just so people can avoid all the kind of fake gurus, the hype, the ridiculous courses that people try and sell on social media. So I'll go through some of my kind of top picks that I've used and some that I haven't used, but I've come across, and I kind of wish that I'd have found them when I was starting out. So what I'll cover is books. Obviously, books aren't free, but they're a low cost way. Lots and lots of people have Audible memberships, so most books are found on there, and they're kind of really good resource to get the basics from. Um, Free courses on YouTube, and different online mentors that kind of offer a lot of really valuable advice and ways of looking at the market that also provide that for free. But what we see on social media is just a lot of people that are full of shit. Um, all these so-called gurus who show, ridiculous win rates, look like they're making millions every day, and then sell a 6 grand course. It's all bullshit. They're probably making millions every day, but they're making from selling courses, not from trading. Um, so everything that you see on here is just it's from real traders who've learned through the years, find their edge, and then they're passing it on for mostly free. And obviously, when you are learning, you don't want to be spending money on bullshit. You want to learn for as little cost as possible. It's a then hopefully once you've found an edge in the market, then you can put that money into your trading account. So this was the first book I read when I was learning to trade, Master the Art of Trading by Lewis Daniels. And it's just a really good book that covers everything. It doesn't go into massive details on all these things, but it just gives you a look at technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and different ways to how you would develop your edge. Um, not a long book. It's you could read it in a day or two. But it was really useful, and I recommend this book to kind of friends of mine who've wanted to look into get into trading, just to give you a foundation knowledge before you go on anything a bit more depth. Um, the next books, there's actually a few of these, the Market Wizard books, and these books are filled with absolute gold. Um, Everything you could want to know about strategies um, will be in these books. It's if you haven't come across them, they're just interviews from the author Jack Schwager, um, interviewing the best traders he's come across, and he's done kind of money managers, stock market wizards, a few different ones. And there's going to be a book released shortly, actually, of kind of newer traders and going into that too. So I'm actually looking forward to that coming out. But yeah, not only will you come across loads of valuable information, but it kind of puts you on to finding these individuals in the books, if you want to kind of delve a bit more into how they trade, how they learn things, and how they look at the market. Really, really good books to read. And another good one here, Trading in the Zone. It's all about mindset and trading. Me personally, I kind of developed a profitable edge quite quickly in my learning curve, but the mindset was what hindered me, and still hinders me. I still have to kind of watch what I'm doing. That's why I've got such strict rules around the number of trades I take a day, and how long I'm actually in the market, because I can spiral until quickly. I know that about myself, so my system is built around that. And I'll probably reread or re-listen to this book um, once a year just to kind of get it in there. It's really, really, really good read. Quite a short book. Again, you can read it in a day or two. So free course. This is a guy. This young man puts out really good videos. He not only does he kind of call the bullshit on the fake gurus, but he's got a really good uh, and beginner's trading guide. He's not selling a course. He's very honest on how he puts his trading across. I've seen him document his kind of struggles when he was starting. Um, and I hadn't come across this when I was learning, but I wish I did. It was really, really good. Um, and it just covers all the basics, covering the brokers, indicators, technical analysis, order types, journaling. And he's not trying to give you something where you go in with lots of false hope. He's quite honest that, this is a long process, it's a steep learning curve. Um, but yeah, that's worth checking out. I do think that's a really good course, and his channel itself is really good too. Ninja Trader Live on YouTube. I watch the news portion of this every day. Um, it's kind of veteran traders who've been in the futures market for years. Anthony Crudelli, Tracy Shuchart, and Jim Pignina are their kind of main hosts. Craig Shapiro as well. He's on it daily now. He's on the list here, and they're just break down kind of the macro look of the market, the news overnight, the levels that things are trading at. Um, if you've seen any of my kind of short videos and trade videos, you'll know I don't trade New York session. So I'm finished trading by the time this comes on because it's them times are actually US times. But I still kind of tune in for the beginning bit, hear the news, look at what's going on. Really valuable that I do like that. And if I was trading New York session, I would definitely be trading in, tuning in for that too. Um, they do have live trading on there too. I sometimes watch it just for my interest, but I'm personally not a fan of trading while watching someone else trade. I think it can kind of mess with your edge. I think it's definitely good for learning point of view. So if you haven't developed an edge yet, look at see how kind of professional and from traders execute. That's definitely got some learning value. Don't get in the habit of kind of trading, taking the trade because someone else is taking it. That's, you might get a couple of winners, but it's not going to be good long term. Um, this trader, I kind of just come across on X, and he posts lots of really, really good kind of mini blog posts about probabilistic thinking and consistency. Um, she doesn't post loads of strategy information, although I do believe on her website, um, she goes into more strategy stuff on her blogs there. But just the breakdown of, you know, if you've got your edge, you have your rules, then the rest is just the market will do what the market will do. So as long as you're following them steps, the outcomes really don't matter. And it's it's really refreshing just to see it kind of every day posts that state that, and not just going on about massive winners, uh, losing this, winning this. You just follow your rules, execute your edge. If you execute your edge, then you've done everything you need to do. There's nothing else apart from that. But no, I enjoy her posts, and I had a look at her website, and she's got some books on there too, which I haven't read yet, but I think I might uh, take a look at them. Now, this one is my favorite. Jason Shapiro, he was in one of the Market Wizard books I read, and then I kind of searched him and found that he had a YouTube channel. Um, he also does paid memberships. If you're just learning things, I don't think you should be paying for any type of memberships. But if you've developed an edge and the memberships offer something that are of value to you, then you can invest in in paid memberships. Then I think they've got the place. He's got a couple of different memberships on Crowded Market Report. I personally pay for his COT data because all my swing trades, I use the COT data. Spent around a year kind of trying to build something similar to what Jason has with the COT data. And when I'd kind of finished it all, it just still wasn't quite what I was after. So then that's why I pay for Jason's membership. Provides the data. I use that data every week with my swing trade analysis. Um, I don't trade quite the same way as Jason, but um, it's definitely got its kind of similarities, and that's why I was drawn to his chapter in particular on market wizards. He refers to himself as a turn picker on in the market, and that's kind of what I've always been drawn to, and how I always develop my edge, but with the use of um, Jason's data, it's kind of added an extra filter to my own trading, um, which has meant trade much less on the swing trade side. But my win rate has gone up a lot, and the size of the winners, kind of risk to reward of, I'm not actually exaggerating. They've tripled since I've started kind of using his data as filters to get in and to get out of the market. Um, I'm going to make another video on how I swing trade. So if you're interested in that, I'll go through that too. Um, but he's got loads of free info as well on his YouTube channel. He does weekly interviews. Um, he puts occasional market breakdowns during the week on there for free. And he's also got a weekly podcast with another trader. His name slipped my mind just now. I only come across him through Jason working with him on that podcast. But I'll put his name also in the notes and all the links for these various kind of resources. But these are my top picks. Um, got loads of value from them, loads of good kind of usable information, and they're all real traders, not kind of social media course sellers. They've all got kind of, some of them 20, 30 years background in the markets. Um, and Jason is a money manager as well. So, he's still active. So he literally can't bullshit you because it's against the law for what he does. Um, but yeah, check some of these out, and I'll write them all in the notes at the bottom of this video to where you can find these guys.